Hey YouTube, how's it going? Natalie here. Hope you're doing well. We are going to be reacting to Sovereign Citizen versus Cops number 12, and this is actually a judge versus a sovereign citizen, and this video is by DDS TV. So let's get right into this.
I already showed it to you. Where's it at? You have the paper. I gave you the papers. For Grand Theft Auto. Sir. Grand Theft Auto.
What?
Grand Theft Auto.
On request from a police officer, you must step out of the vehicle.
You want me to get out? No, don't get out.
Do you understand me? Step out of the car, put your camera down. Sir, when's the
I am not for hire.
Ordered by-
For the record, I am operating in a not for hire capacity
I'm giving you 30
by engaging in for.
See, this is the thing. It's like you want to engage in this sovereign citizen foolishness that has no basis in case law or statute. You go ahead and do that, but at least know how to say the terms correctly. Homeboy doesn't even know how to say the words. And the officer is giving you a lawful order to get out of the vehicle. You're operating a motor vehicle. You need to get out of it when he tells you to. And you have to provide a license, and you don't need to be contracting for hire or anything like that. None of that stuff is real. It's all fake.
Any form of transportation? No, don't get out.
I'm giving you 30 seconds. And
I have showed you my ID. No, don't get out. Don't get out.
Yeah, you can't just make up your own ID. Those like little pieces of paper that they have, that's not ID. That's not, it has to be state issued identification, and to drive a car has to be a state issued driver's license.
Don't get out. Don't get out. Don't get out.
Don't listen to him.
Here.
this is not an ID. That is an identity card that doesn't mean nothing. Step out of the car.
Breaking and entering. Breaking and entering.
Grand Theft Auto, breaking and entering. Okay, you don't subscribe to the laws of the United States. Breaking and entering is a law of the United States. So is Grand Theft Auto. You can't just yell crimes at a police officer and think that's somehow going to stop him from getting you out of the car. He's duly authorized to do that.
I say you've been waiting.
No! Don't break my window!
It's too late.
Don't break my window!
Oh my
Don't
God.
break my window! Don't break my window! Breaking and entering! Breaking and entering!
You, just like the other lady that was screaming the R word, you're just screaming crimes at him. What do you think that that's going to do? Screaming, don't break my window. What do you think that's going to do? He doesn't have to listen to you. Okay, you have to present a valid driver's license. Your little ID card that you made up and got laminated at Staples is not going to do it. And yelling and screaming, breaking and entering at him is not going to stop him from getting you out of the car. You're so dumb. This could have just been a traffic citation.
Grand Theft Auto! Grand Theft Auto!
It's not Grand Theft Auto.
Open it up now. Grand Theft
See, that piece of paper, that's not identification.
Auto! Grand Theft Auto! Grand Theft Auto!
Is this a man or a woman? I can't tell. Stop listening. Whoever told you guys, whoever wrote that paperwork up for you and told you that this is going to work, stop listening to these people. Stop. Don't listen to them anymore. Well, that was that. That was that. That was that. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's embarrassing. Oh, it was a he.
I know you did not pull me over for doing any type of criminal violation. So are you?
This argument that, just like the argument that you can't be trespassed from public property, these are just arguments that you guys are just making up all by yourself that are not true, okay? Traffic citations form the basis for reasonable articulable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot. And so the officer can stop you for a suspected traffic citation. It does not have to be a violent crime or something that's in the criminal code. It can be something that's in the traffic code, and the officer has the right to stop you if you're operating a motor vehicle at that time.
It's a traffic offense. It's not a criminal offense. It's a traffic
Exactly.
offense.
There you
So
go.
that's not a real offense, is it?
Yes, it is. What do you mean a traffic offense is not a real offense? What are you talking about, homie? What are you saying right now? A traffic offense is a traffic offense. And in my state, they took all ambiguity out of it and have said by law that a traffic citation, a traffic offense and a criminal offense are one and the same. Traffic offenses are criminal offenses because you can go to jail for traffic offenses. Driving while suspended carries up to a year in jail in some cases. So it's still even though it's under the traffic code, it's still considered a criminal offense. And so you have to submit to the authority of the law enforcement officer. Is it not a law? Is the traffic offense not a law that's being broken? Well, that's a law enforcement officer, and he has the right to enforce it.
It's against the law.
What's against what law? You just said it's a traffic code, so if it's a traffic code, it's not a state penal code for a
Traffic law.
That's it.
Law is a law.
I'm not gonna argue with you. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, let me give you this card. That's fine. I'm being respectful.
No, you're not.
You stalked me. This is
I
what
didn't
we going
stalk
through.
you. You
Yes,
did
you
stalk
did.
me.
No, I
Okay.
didn't. I checked my gas cap.
And that's fine.
You didn't have no reason.
Could be a completely reasonable excuse.
It's not. You don't have a valid reason.
I do
Are
have
you a
valid
racist
reason. I
cop,
explained.
sir?
Am I a racist?
Yeah.
Do you know me?
What?
Do you know me?
Are you See? I'm trying to cut my little grapefruit right here. But let me not even do that. That's the type of stuff that makes me so angry. There is nothing that this officer has done that has led you to think that he's a racist. Now I can show you guys a couple videos that I've reacted to where I'm like, there's definitely some racism going on here. This is not it. Just, every single person, no matter their race, no matter their gender, no matter their sexual orientation, they have to submit to the traffic and criminal laws of the state, and the officer is duly authorized to enforce these traffic and criminal codes. So you're being treated equally to everyone else. That is like the opposite of racism. Get out of here. And it's like such a slap in the face to the people that actually do have to face racism. Garbage.
I don't know you.
Exactly.
I'm not accusing you of anything.
You just accused me of committing a crime.
A traffic violation.
Okay, so if it's a traffic violation, you're accusing me of committing a crime, which we know is not a real law. Right?
What?
Traffic code is law.
You just
It's
read
the law.
code on the back of my truck, and I'm gonna give you this card. Go ahead and read that.
Okay, so you're not
All right.
going to provide.
Nobody is obligated to read your little made up foolishness. Just like how this person had this brief, this thick brief of paper saying that's their identification. This little card that you typed up and had laminated is not something that the officer is obligated to read. You provide your driver's license and your registration that are issued by your state. That's it. They don't need to read your little dissertations of foolishness.
Text driver's license.
Do what, sir?
You have a valid text
Am
driver's
I
license?
driving right now?
You were driving.
No, I'm traveling.
No.
Read that card, sir.
You're traveling by way of driving a motor vehicle. That's how you're traveling. You're not on foot. All right? You're not skiing. You're not riding a bicycle. You're operating a heavy motor vehicle that's filled with gasoline and is a freaking weapon. And it can be and it is regulated by the state.
I understand what this is. You can
What is it?
He's nicer than me because I wouldn't have taken that thing. I would have thrown it on the floor.
I don't even answer questions.
Okay.
You're here answering questions right
I
now.
have everything that I got.
You're not going to show me any kind of ID with your name on it or anything
For
like
what?
that?
What are you putting me over for?
I explained to you, your
You
license
just
plate is not
profiled
only
me.
obstructed.
You profiled me
I'm not
when the court.
profiling.
So his license plate is obstructed. And again, some dum-dum kept coming in here and arguing with me whether or not the officer has to tell you why he's pulling you over. That is based on regulations for each state. It'll either be in the state law. It's not mandated by federal law, but states are able to add additional protections for civilians. So one of the additional protections that they add, they can't take away rights from civilians, but they can always add rights to civilians that are not necessarily federally or mandated by the Supreme Court, right? Federally mandated or mandated by the Supreme Court. And one of those additional protections is that in my state, for example, and in my locality, there are both state rules and general orders that the police must follow. And one of them is that they do have to identify the reason that they stopped you. That's not the case in every state or every jurisdiction, but it's the case in many states. And so here the officer has identified the reason for the stop, which is that his license plate was obstructed. And the reason your license plate can't be obstructed is because the officer needs to be able to run the license plate while they're behind you, and you don't have an expectation of privacy in the license plate. We have a public policy of allowing officers to run publicly displayed license plates because it lets them know if the vehicle is like stolen, for example, or if there's an Amber Alert on the vehicle. It's for community safety. So now he's told him why it is that he stopped him, which he had already told him that. I just missed exactly what he said, but he's already told him why he stopped him. Now, as a person operating a motor vehicle, he is obligated to provide his license and registration.
I got you on camera. No, I got you on
Doesn't,
camera.
but you're not, you don't look better. You look worse.
Listen, I don't need to answer questions right now. You just follow me way out of
There we go.
jurisdiction to come way into Dallas.
Well, I
I saw
saw
you.
you make traffic stops in Dallas.
I don't care what this ain't a traffic stop. I'm traveling free of will.
Okay.
Right?
That's fine.
Right.
You're traveling, you're driving, however you want.
It doesn't matter, whatever. You're traveling by way of driving.
Hold your accountable,
That's
sir.
fine. I would expect you to.
Now,
And
you
I would
outside,
hope you would.
you outside your official capacity.
I'm not.
right now.
No,
Yes,
he's
you are.
not.
That, you are
No, he's
stopped
not.
right now
For what?
a traffic offense.
You're a law enforcement officer within the state, traveling to, like, say, another city or another county, if you're a sheriff or something like that. You're not divested of your authority. You shouldn't be initiating things, but if you observe something happen in your county and you follow that into another county, in most states, you're allowed to exercise your police powers. In some states, you're allowed to even exercise your police powers if you cross over into another state altogether, depending on the state. Like, I live in the DC area, and so DC cops might initiate a traffic pursuit in DC, and that goes over into Maryland or Virginia, and they're allowed to pursue that traffic pursuit until the local police are able to, you know, take over and effectuate the arrest. And the things that they observe can be used against the defendant at trial, even though it's outside of their jurisdiction. So once again, another example of someone talking about something where they don't know what they're talking about.
For what?
Okay.
Okay,
You
what
don't
crime
have
did I
proper
commit?
plate on
What
your
crime
vehicle.
did I commit? My truck.
He already told you. He's too busy talking to you. I would
As
have
soon as I
been
can figure
taking.
that out.
It's already figured out. You look right there, brother.
Okay, hold on to this.
No, you read that. That's for your
I'm not going to
notification.
keep it, so I'm just going to put it right here for you.
That's on you.
Okay,
I didn't
that's
need
your
permission
property.
to
You
reach
can keep
inside
it.
of my vehicle and don't
Okay.
do it again. Okay?
You can keep your property.
I know I can keep.
Okay.
This is
Do
my
you have a
property. I
Texas
own it.
driver's
I
license?
own this property. I'm
Fine.
traveling.
I would seize that as evidence that he is knowingly operating a motor vehicle without a license because he thinks he thinks that everyone else has to comply with this fiction that he's come up with.
You have a Texas
I'm
driver's license?
traveling,
I'm
sir.
just asking you a simple question.
Guess what? I just told you I don't answer questions.
You're not
I
gonna
just
answer
told
any
you to
questions.
read this. You're not even reading.
I'm
All
not
right.
gonna read it.
Let me read it.
And you don't have to. Here's the thing: is that, you know, you guys saw my video on what to do if you're stopped by the police. You don't have to answer the officer's questions. It's just that when it comes to the offense of driving without a license, it only helps you to answer that particular question if, in fact, you have a license. You know, maybe you left it at home or something like that, and then they can just issue you the payable citation for, you know, not carrying your license on you, but you won't get the more, you know, hefty citation of driving without a license altogether. Now, that's a choice that you can make, but then the choice that the officer can make if you choose not to answer the question of whether or not you have a license is that they can then arrest you for driving without a license. And since that you haven't provided a license for them to give you a citation, they can put you in cuffs, take you down to the station, search you, all that other stuff. You don't have to answer their questions, but there are consequences to not answering.
To you.
Okay.
This
I'm not
is a
gonna
statement
read
for police. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. This
He
is a statement
doesn't-
for police. My rights. The right to remain silent, including any providing documents or information that may incriminate me
Sure,
or
yeah.
be used against me.
But you're still going to get
What's your badge
arrested.
number, Mr. Williams?
Again, defense attorney hat here. I love it when my clients don't make any statements, but he's made a ton of statements already that are incriminating. Like, he's knowingly not driving with a license because he doesn't believe that, you know, driving, he believes that he's traveling and not driving, and he doesn't have to subject himself to the laws of the state. He doesn't believe that the officer is acting within his jurisdiction. So he's justifying knowingly driving without a license, which is incriminating. So he's already given up the, you know, the whole thing of not making any statements. He's made plenty of incriminating statements. So all this other stuff is just theater at this point.
We've been going through right now. This guy's doing profiling.
He's
trying
not
I don't answer
profiling
questions,
you.
sir. I'm traveling free of will. This is not a Nazi state. Okay?
I wonder if people even know what those are, what Nazis are. Do you even know? Do you even know? Because, like, it is so insulting to the people that actually survived, like, the Holocaust and stuff like that. We are not an anarchy, right? We are a government of laws and rules that we have all agreed to follow in order to live in this country. And having to have a license is not in any way equivalent to being targeted because of your religious affiliation or your ethnicity and then placed in concentration camps. Get out of here with that. And it's not racial profiling either.
Hey, man, here's the deal.
This is not a deal. This is no I don't negotiate with terrorists.
Oh, it's not
right now. Well, you being a terrorist,
He's not negotiating.
Leave me the alone.
Oh.
Alone. Who do you think I am?
Okay. I know who
Who do
owns
you
this
think?
truck. I know who the truck's registered to.
Guess what? It don't matter who it's registered to.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Here's the deal.
It
Slow
doesn't
down.
matter.
Can I talk for a minute?
You don't need to talk, man.
Oh,
You're
you're...
over here doing some illegal shit.
With why you're sitting right here on the sidewalk.
I'm not understanding nothing you talk. No,
Okay,
you
so
broke the
there's no
law.
question.
You just broke the law.
Your license plate is not
You're
legal.
so
You just
dumb.
broke the law.
For one, it's obstructed.
I am traveling. It ain't obstructed. It ain't nothing. Show me where it's obstructed. I'm gonna get out of my vehicle. I can do whatever I want,
You're
sir.
gonna stay in the car.
For what?
No, you're going to have to... So sometimes they want you to get out of the car because they're going to place you under arrest, or they want to put you in handcuffs in order to secure you so they can search the vehicle or run your information or whatever the case may be. They're concerned about, dangerousness. Sometimes they want you to stay inside the car because it's easier for them to manage you that way, especially because he looks like he's called for backup already, but he's there on the scene alone. So when they give you instructions like stay in the car, get out of the car, and you do the opposite of those instructions, you do put yourself in danger, for right or for wrong. I don't really care what y'all think about it. You think I'm being too, I don't know, conservative or something like that, which is whatever. I don't care what y'all think about it. If that officer tells you to stay in the car, you stay your behind in that car. That's how you end up getting shot.
Stay in the car.
Well, if you're detaining me, so now you can put me under arrest, sir.
You're not under arrest. You're
Okay,
detained.
then don't
That's different.
detain me.
You are detained. How many times do I have to say this? When you are in a traffic stop, you are detained. You are detained. You're not free to leave until the officer tells you that you're free to go.
Dictionary, the Black Law Dictionary.
You're detained right now. You're
What
not
is
free to
it?
go, but you are not.
Now
under
he said
arrest.
he's lying.
Okay.
He's lying
I'll
to
be
y'all.
right back.
He's lying to y'all. I want everybody.
If I hear
to
Black's
this
Law
racist
Dictionary one
cop
more time.
That profiled a white truck. He saw a black guy at the gas station. Talking about it's obstructed.
Wait, so he profiled the truck because it was white and you because you were black? Okay.
You're lying.
You're lying. You're lying. You made me
As a
mad.
sovereign citizen decides to use
You made me so mad. Shut up.
Judge, you decline the service of public defender in this proceeding pro se.
Thank you.
I never consented to any of that jailhouse stuff. I would like to tell you that I'm the grantor and the beneficial owner of the estate named Noel Young.
Oh, I think I hate them more in court than I hate them with cops because it's like there's other people waiting for their turn to go and like you're just tiring the judge out and stuff. Come on. None of this stuff is legally sound.
And I would like to appoint you as a trustee to close and settle.
I decline your request.
these
No.
claims. I'm sorry.
I decline your request for me to be your trustee. They are charged
Well, I'm not the trustee for the case.
burglary, unoccupied structure, unarmed. It's a $5,000 bond. I did front probable cause for your arrest. Possession of cannabis has no required.
I understand. I don't understand because they're supposed to say that they don't understand the proceedings. You understand exactly what's happening. You know what you've been charged with.
Bond. I did front probable cause, sir, and if you wish to get out of jail, you'll pay us the $5,000, and I decline the appointment. Thank you, sir. I wish you the best of everything.
I love how she just ran over him.
Eric Sholomon. Eric Sholomon. Eric Sholomon.
You command her, but you're still in a jumpsuit in jail. Those commands don't seem to have any force or weight behind them. You command her, but she's still in the robe and you're still in the jumpsuit in jail. Okay. Doesn't seem to have worked out too well. Oh man, that was funny. That was funny. Yeah, so that was fun. Yeah, guys, I mean, look, you have to have a driver's license. We all know that. We've gone over that ad nauseum. But aside from that, the example that we saw in each of these things is that these people tried to assert their own law. They came up with their own paperwork, their own documents, their own IDs, their little, explanation of their sovereign citizen rights. And you can print those things out until all the paper in the world runs out. You can chop down all the trees and print 1,000,001 of those things. But guess what? It has no bearing whatsoever on what's going to happen to you. You can tell the judge you're going to appoint her as a trustee, and she doesn't have to listen to you. She's not going to listen to you. And you're still going to be there on a $5,000 bond. You'll be in jail until you post that $5,000 bond, accepting the jurisdiction of that court, because there's nothing you can do about it. That, you know, and again, you may have rational, reasonable arguments, but you'll never get to them because you won't hire counsel, you won't take the services of the public defender, and you're just wasting your time and everyone else's time. So then you guys always end up going to jail. But anyway, more videos for us. I'll talk to you guys later. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Bye.